Are you holding on to hope that your fearful avoidant ex might return? Well, understanding their attachment style and some of these key points that I'm going to share in today's video may help provide crucial insights into their behavior and also help you understand whether or not this person is likely to come back into your life. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to take you through one of the most important things that could be a deal breaker for either this relationship or even all future relationships. So stay tuned. My name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about 4 signs the fearful avoidant attachment style wants to come back, specifically if they're your ex. And I will say a disclaimer first, as I said in the past couple videos, the whole part of the series for each attachment style. Um, just like with any other relationship, it doesn't even matter if the person's securely attached. If it didn't work, one of the first things you have to do is pre-qualify the person. And pre-qualifying, you want to look for 3 things, okay? You want to look for number 1, is this person willing to have a dialogue? So these are not part of the signs. This is just a side note to disclaimer. You want to look for number 1, is this person willing to have a tough conversation about what didn't work and what we would try to do better next time? Number 2, is the person taking accountability for their side of things? As should you be, right? Because we each have a side in things. Like, well, no matter what, in any relationship, we'll find things that we could have improved on or been more aware of or more patient or insightful or kind about. And, we want to be able to take ownership as well, but we really need to see that the other person is. And then importantly as well, does the person show up to do the heavy lifting, right? Because they can say they can have the difficult conversation, but is there the follow through? So you'll hear that come up in a moment when I talk about the pre-qualifying, but those are like some really important pre-qualifying factors, irrespective of somebody's attachment style. And now I want to tell you, these are the actual 4 signs the person might be wanting to come back. And you should be really looking. I'll tell you a little bit about not just the signs, but also what you can do. And maybe we'll include that in this video as well. So the first sign from a fearful avoidant is that they will tend to reach out to you directly. And they will ask pretty deep questions. And the really interesting thing about FAs is sometimes they can be so direct. They can just be like, do you still have feelings? But a lot of the time, instead, you'll see the fearful avoidant kind of like mirror the relationship, spend time romantically, be affectionate, be present, laugh, like do all the things that they would do in a relationship with you where it mimics a romantic relationship. But then they say, oh, no, we're just spending time together. Oh, we're just taking it easy. It's just like a friendship. But a lot of the time when they say that, or if they're interested in that, but they still say, oh, no, no, we're just being friends. A lot of the time there are some romantic feelings there for the FA, but they just don't want to be vulnerable. They just don't want to make the commitment. So they're sort of like testing the waters out, and they're also testing you to see if you want to get in the water with them as well. So that can be a very common pattern. Number 2, they will tend to ask deep questions to get a gauge if you moved on, right? Like they may bring things up like, or how are you feeling? Is there anybody in your life? They may ask some of these things, and they may seem like they're just friend zoning you questions, but generally if it's with an ex, especially if it was a longer relationship, if you've been broken up for a long time, obviously it's a different situation, but if you've been broken up for a couple months, these are usually the person pretending like they're invulnerable, as if you're full avoidant, but actually caring to see if you moved on or not, to see if there's room to maybe get back together. When the FA does these things too, by the way, it doesn't mean they're 100% sure they want to be back together. It means that they're trying to figure it out for themselves a lot of the time at the same time, as well as trying to sort of figure out if you're a safe bet. So it can be really confusing because of that. But these are some signs that are very common to see as a part of this dynamic. Number 3, and this is a really interesting one. And again, the more signs you have together, the more it's really pointing in this direction, is that the fearful avoidant may actually address why they acted the way they did in the past and explain. And they may explain in a way that kind of insinuates that they've reflected, there's a difference, things would be, changed this time around, they started paying attention. And it's kind of their way of communicating to you, like, I would be ready to try again with a clean slate. And I would be, more aware this time going back into things. And so again, when you're seeing these 3 first features together, it generally points you in the direction of the fearful avoidance still being interested in rekindling. And before I tell you number four, I also want to say, as I've been saying in the other parts of this series, we have a video called or a course that you can check out for free for 7 days, all about how to reconnect with an ex. And it's like how to repair any relationship. And it talks about the different stages of reparation in relationship and what's required and what you can do. And you can, again, check it out for free for 7 days. There's scripts and all the steps laid out and the things to pay attention to, and when to know to not try and just sort of put a boundary up instead. So anyways, that will be in the link in the description box below. And number four for the fearful avoidant is you may see that they reach out to friends and family around you. They won't do it if they don't know them very well, but if it's like mutual friends or they work with one of your family members or something like that, you'll see them tend to check in, see, ask kind of deeper, more penetrating questions about different things to sort of get to the bottom of where your head is at. And they'll tend to really consider these four things and really feel them out before actually making a decision to reconnect. So important things to pay attention to, important if you are thinking about moving back in a certain direction with any ex, that you do that pre-qualifying thing that we talked about, which are like, are we willing to have the deep conversations and address what wasn't working? Are we willing to, take accountability? Is the person going to show up and take accountability? And then are they going to put in the work? And, that's part of a reconnecting dynamic as well. But I'm not saying like sit down the first time you're connecting with your FAX and have that dialogue. But if things start to move in that direction, it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. So I hope this makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you hang out here a lot and you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.